Dragonah's hand. At least they've got a safe discard, right? So Tricky clues 1 to Squirrely, and I clue yellow to Tricky. I think you definitionally have to start with a 1. Maybe at that point, Super Mike, let's see. You've got 30 cards, and you've got 20 in hand. I guess you don't technically have to start with a 1. Oh, 16 in hand, 16 in hand, not 20, not 5 player. Okay. I know this is not a yellow 2, so I can still do the yellow clue. Do I also have a red one? Like, why is this better? Maybe this is a red 2 and they're gonna follow up with a 5 clue to Squirrely. I think I just need to give the yellow clue to Tricky here, right? Yeah, there's only 1 5 left to draw, but Dragonah could draw the last 5. I don't think I'm allowed to play into a theoretical self-finesse when I see a perfectly valid other finesse possibility on the board. That would be a bit much. Okay. So does this mean I now can play my newest as a 1? Because Squirleon didn't play into it. I mean, I kind of want to clue squirleon's 2 to set up the finesse on the 3. But it's probably potential for confusion enough. I should just clue 5s to Dragonah. Often, semi-often, squirleon will draw another 2, and that's good to clue also. Yeah, I'm just gonna clue the 5s for now. So Dragonah can go ahead and clue squirleon's 2. Or not. Actually, yeah. I don't know why I was considering cluing the 2. I can't clue that 2. So, I guess if Dragonah doesn't clue the 2, I am playing mine. Almost definitely. I mean, I already thought it was probably green. Tricky did decide to play their yellow one first and not their mystery one. But if Tricky discards their green one, I don't know if I'm supposed to play or if squirleon's supposed to play, so I don't think Tricky should do that. I guess if I'm trusting everyone, I'm supposed to play. But why is Tricky giving that clue rather than just the 2-1s clue? Like, just to be tricky? They could clue me green and tag my green 4 at the same time. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily, Daylight, because we're setting up to get both the yellow 2 and the other yellows played in that scenario. And that would potentially make sense, too. It would probably be weird. I mean, it could be like 3-4 or something of yellow. And that's why Tricky played the... Yeah, no, I agree with him playing the yellow one first, but now they need to play the other one. In that case, Dilek, because the green one had already been clued from my perspective as a squirleon with the finesse. I wonder if Squirleon will discard this now. Like, how confident are they that that's trash? I'll be interested to see which card Squirleon discards. Okay, they are still just discarding that one. So green and then 1 on Squirleon is a 3 for 2. Just green might work. They didn't feel comfortable enough to discard the 1, though. But if they know it's green, they might feel more comfortable doing so. Yeah, I mean, green and 5, green 1. Green and 1 is better because the 1 still looks like it could be a useful rainbow card otherwise. But also green and then, like, eventually it gets clarified whenever it's convenient is also fine. Oh, it does have negative red. You're right. They already know it's not rainbow. Fair. This is fair. Well, you're the clue master, Dragonah. What do you reckon? The 1/5 that's going to be playable is not one of the 5s in your hand. Alright, alright. That, yeah, no, I follow up with green, I think. Yeah. That's fair, Mike, although would have been really weird. But the things that make it weird also make it impossible, so, you know. Basically, they had the red 1 in their hand, and we only clued the red one, not the rainbow one, but yeah. So. Picking up the green one's fine, like, that's just pure trash. Like, I could clue 4s. I'm not very happy about saving the blue 4, but it'd be fine. I want Squirleon to play right now. Dragonah will still have 1 clue if they want to tell me something, but they'll probably just finally discard. Does the fact that blue 3 is on the board make me more inclined to save the blue 4? Not much, but like slightly. A green clue to Dragonah. It's fun. What does that really look like? It's a relatively small amount of information gain, but a potentially useful one. Like, it tags exactly what one of their 5s is. It doesn't really clarify the other ones, other than the fact that the first one's tagged, so the other ones can't be that one. They already know none of them are green. But getting rid of the multi is the most useful one to get rid of, certainly. I can't think of any reason this clue makes sense other than Squirleon has exactly green 4, green 5. Like, is there any other reason this clue makes any sense? I'm very comfortable with discarding, and there shouldn't be a reason why I wouldn't be. Alright, chat has convinced me. That's green or blue, so they know it has to be green. Alright, we're gonna try that. I mean, I do like that there's, like, no problematic downsides. The downside would be that we just get the green 4 played a turn late. It's like, broadly, why am I not discarding here? Obviously, this has to mean something else, because this is a garbage clue. And it can't mean anything about the M5 I'm tagging. So it has to mean something in Squirleon's hand. Yeah, the M4 draw would be awkward, Chthonic. Certainly. And, like, this still wouldn't be a reasonable clue to give if it's just telling Squirleon their 5's green and Dragonah's 5 is multi. Like, that's still not enough. I'm still always discarding there instead of giving that information. So, alas. Include me about a red 3. It's possible Dragonah decides that means they're supposed to not discard or something. I don't know, Dragonah can see the green 4, green 5 situation. I think they can pick up what I'm aiming for there. Yeah, I mean, Dragonah not discarding is largely fine. It just becomes an issue if they don't have a good clue to give and they feel they can't discard. Alright, so I don't have a reasonably clueable red 3 in my hand. The difference is mostly just that, like, it's still there. If we end up forcing Dragonah at 0 clues, we can make them discard, and maybe that's essential. And if they have an actual locked hand, we don't have that option. Oh, we're doing this now. Okay. At 2. Interesting. Alright, I don't feel I've got any other options there. The red one was played at that time. And, like, Dragon has just given that clue instead of cluing me reds. Yeah. What was my newest when I was given at the beginning of the game? It was left of the green 3. So that was this card right here. So that's probably, well, that probably is a little strong. It kind of feels like a green one. So are my reds out of order here? Dragonah can absolutely tell me right now if they are. Yep. Okay, squirleon didn't discard the green 4, so my newest 4 isn't green. Dragonah finally discarded. My job should be still to play this. Squirleon can give red to Dragonah and get the 5 played. Okay. Hey, Curiouser. If Squirleon wants Dragonah to clue me instead, they just play the 5. Okay, so let's say I've got the yellow 4 tagged, and I've got the blue 5 in my hand. Then Squirleon can clue yellow to Dragonah. Excuse me? Okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, alright. Dragonah's left with nothing to do, so they have to play this card, right? Well, they chose to give this rather than the red clue I bought, that's why it's a finesse. Because the red clue is telling Dragonah to play the red 5. But Dragonah's been left with nothing to do. Maybe they thought red more like a finesse? Maybe. This is just way more confusing to Dragonah, though, so I feel it has to be getting extra value. Yeah. I'm not picturing like a group that actually develops that meta, Dalek. Like, well, you always want to give a little time before cluing, and like sometimes you have to take care of more important saves, so therefore your default assumption should be that it's the second newest card. And... Okay, they're gonna go that route. But Squirrely wouldn't have given that clue if they just wanted you to discard that Dragonah. So that doesn't make sense either. I know it's safer. I guess Dragonah just decided they couldn't comfortably decide between the yellow 5 and the red 5. Oh, you're given... Oh god. Am I supposed to play my newest, my 4, or am I supposed to discard? We've still got enough time I can discard. If Squirreling plays the 5 rather than their 4... So Dragon will know to play this. Alright, I'm not playing my 4 until my next turn. I don't know, the fact Dragonah did eventually decide to discard makes me less excited about the finesse opportunity. Tricky's giving this clue instead of letting me give this clue. Also. Which, oh my god. But like, the fact Dragonah can still play the red 5 makes me okay with this option. It was the green one! It was, in fact, the green one. Yep. So Squirrely had thought it was a missed self-finesse. Squirrely needs to trust that it wasn't missed. Tricky's not giving that clue without additional value here, I don't think. That seems awfully bold. I can iBot because they can sarcastic it. Okay, so I'll play my 4. So yeah, that's what I figured. Tricky discards there. I play this. Now we see if anybody clues that multi won. If not, I'll play this card. Well, see, ZZT, that was actually my read. I would have full trusted that, but the problem is squirleon clued Tricky's green 1. I absolutely would have full trusted played into that. I was planning on it. Like, I don't think it's full trust enough that I should discard rather than play, but maybe. 2 blues given by squirleon rather than squirleon discarding. Wait, why didn't Dragonah play the 5? That was turn 35, 4, 3, 2. Or the yellow 5. Yeah, actually, either way. Either way. I guess that's true. That should be on this card. There we go. Oh, the yellow 5 wasn't. Yeah, you're right, you're right. But the... I guess, okay. You're confusing me. You're confusing me. Alright. Okay. So I've got 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. Probably. Dragonah include this rather than like these. So this is probably not multi-1 after all. Oh, I know it's not multi-1 after all. Interesting. Let's see, so yeah, here. That was turn 32. Dragonah's not looking back at the past. They made their decision on the 2 and then didn't let that keep influencing their decisions. Although... yeah, that is actually interesting. I mean, the fact they discarded it made me not want to play into it, and apparently it wasn't a finesse. I guess squirleon decided that color usually means finesse more, so therefore they went with the other way, but I would say less confusing if it's gonna be a mess is what's gonna be the default. So if you're doing the more confusing, it should mean something different. Okay, well, it's not a 5. So that is, in fact, a multi-something. Multi-anything. So I can't do anything with it. I know squirleon's discards are trash until the end of time. And in fact, I know that theoretically finesse card is pure trash now. We need to get a blue 3 played, I think. Too bad Dragonah's got the blue 4. The fact I'm giving the blue clue to Tricky means they're the same card, I think? That's neat. Or that one's like the multi-4. Dragonah did end up drawing the last 5, incidentally. We need Dragonah to play a 5 this turn, though. So we kind of need to give blue to Tricky and blue to Dragonah. Like, is blue to Tricky... Like, blue to Tricky from me is stronger, but blue to Dragonah is more important. I don't know, they're both really important. I think both of these really needs to be done. And this probably makes a little more sense coming from me. So I'll give that one and see what swirling does here. Red Cliff. I mean, that works. I like Blue War, but red is still better than discarding. It may also depend on what color my multi is. Sure, what rank my multi is, not what color. What flavor of multi I have. So this is interesting. Tricky hasn't played their oldest card yet, so that might mean my multi is the 2. Yeah, it seems really likely I'd have an option other than blue, but like theoretically it could be like M4 blue 3, and theoretically the order could be switched, but Greetings, Market. Hey there, Aqua. Thank you kindly for the raid. We are currently playing a cooperative deduction card game called Hanabi, where we are all fully working together to get cards played out from our hand to the middle of the table. The main I don't know, gimmick or trick to it is that you cannot see your own hand of cards, but you can see all the hands of your teammates, and you need to clue each other in order to let people know what they can safely play. If anyone wants a full rules rundown, there's a link to that there. Let's see. So we're playing with a reasonably advanced variant of the rainbows. Okay, they played the newer one as the that was the newer one, right? Okay. So that makes this less likely to be the multi-4. I don't think it's enough that I can play it, especially when I can include Dragonah 5 right now. So I'll just include Dragonah 5, and I hope people will draw things that make my hand clear. Yeah, that's the problem about it. It could still be multi-3. And in fact, it feels likely to be so. Alright, well, F to the F card, I suppose. So this implies that I currently don't have any other playables. This is the multi-3. Okay. But yeah, this is a one of my all-time favorite games, and it's definitely can be a little intimidating at first, especially if you see like very experienced players doing bizarre plays that don't necessarily make a lot of sense. But it's definitely one you learn by playing, and if anyone is actually interested in playing it down the road, we do have a Discord server, and people arrange games there pretty regularly. And new players are welcome. That's true, I bought, yeah. A little bit of both, a little bit of both. If I had the M4, it felt more likely Tricky would have played their older blue card as either the M2 or blue 3 instead of their newer kind, but I could be wrong. Okay, they are going ahead and clarifying that. Alright, so... yeah, no, this is great. Well, it's great if I just drew them M4. It's great on a coin flip. Squirleon just needs to give a clue, and we either got there or we didn't. We got there! Huzzah! And it's not like we would have saved the M4 earlier, so that would have just been unfortunate if that was the last card. All right. Easy game every time. GG, everybody. Okay. So right off the bat, Tricky decides, let's get tricky. It seems like the usual value on just giving the 2-1s clue is as good as this is. Isn't it? Set up the 3s clue. That was, Taylor, yeah. You start with the 3s. Oh man, that's interesting. I could probably play on the second, on my second turn if you start with 3s and there's no clarification. But yeah, you could just give green to me as well. But I mean, is 1's just squirleon, like, bad though? Because that, like, it doesn't seem like getting the green 3 plate is any harder if we just give 1s to squirleon. No, I mean, I understand that giving a fancier clue because it's more fun is a somewhat valid reason too. But yeah, with the green one here, I don't feel I can play into this. So I don't. I go ahead and set up the yellow clue that needs the follow-up. The G2 here. I mean, squirrelion's got 2 plays before they we have to worry about cluing or discarding the green 2. So that seems like that's probably fine. But okay, yeah, well, it's interesting here. So squirrelion doesn't play their newest here. Like, I actually had decided if squirrelion doesn't play their newest, I'm gonna treat my newest as if it was the green 1 on my next turn. But that's a moot point because we're cluing this green 1 anyway, just to clear up the ambiguity. I assume, well, squirrelion's can speak for themselves, Dragonah, but I assume just because, like, it's not guaranteed I'm playing my newest as green 1 by any means, and this just makes sure everything is clean. Tricky leads with a 5, and I clue the green 2. Over here, I just clue 2. I mean, sure. What do I assume? Green? Well, I assume it is a playable 1 that will allow this 2 to get played, I guess, technically, Kurisu. But I assume it's green because squirrelion didn't play their green 1. And it would be weird if this 2 was not green, given what I'm seeing, but it could theoretically be another 1 into another 2. Just go ahead and give the comfortable 5s clue there. Also amusing when I've got the other green 3 here too, yeah. Sure. And obviously the fact no one cares about Dragonah's yellow 2, Tricky knows they've got a yellow 2. So 3s to me tags the red 3, which is 1 away from playable, and it's good to save. It's not particularly unclear. Yeah, I'm going to be playing newest is green 3 if this is still unclued on my next turn. So yeah, that's probably stronger. 3s to me over 3s to Tricky I think is stronger. Tricky already knows this one's playable. Dragonah doesn't know how confident Tricky is in playing this, probably, because they don't know they're sitting on a yellow 2. So Dragonah wanted to make sure this was like, this is playable and this is playable. And this is also good. Like, they're trying to set it all up, I think. So I think from Dragonah's perspective, that's reasonable. I think you could have just gone ahead and gone with green here, Dragonah, rather than the 5. They already know this card's not red, so tagging it green means it has to be garbage. I guess this could be the green 4, to be fair. But if they remember from the first turn the fact I didn't play into the self-finesse, makes it more likely this is a green 1. And they know what's the 5, like, with no other information, like, this is probably the 5, and they also know it because I could clarify it and I don't. So therefore, although obviously it ends up happening differently in this case, but like, we've got time that like I can easily clarify it if not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the follow-up is necessary. So we can potentially save a clue there. So I decided to go with Frisky. This was definitely one chat suggested, but I decided that like this clue doesn't make sense unless Squirleon's getting a play out of it. So like on the surface, well, on the little bit below the surface level, this tells Dragonah they've got a multi-5 and Squirleon that their 5's definitely green. Like, that information has to be contained for this clue to make sense. But that's not enough information for this clue to be worth giving instead of me just discarding. So it should mean something else. And I think the only other thing it can possibly mean is for Squirleon to play their newest as the green 4. Why wouldn't I be comfortable discarding though, Squirleon? Like, I know Dragonah's hand's like mucky and people have had time to clue by hand if it needed to be clued. So like, I'm always discarding here instead of just stalling, I would say. And yeah, ZZT did bring up, like, well, how confident is Squirleon that you're comfortable discarding? Apparently not enough, but... Let's see, I mean, you don't see any other useful clue I can give. Yeah, there's no reason I wouldn't discard here, I feel. But it's also, like, a bizarre clue, so, like... I knew the worst case just wasn't that bad, so, like, that was part of the reason I wanted to give this clue, too, but... I feel like, given how the game's gone, like, there's really no reason I shouldn't be discarding here, generally speaking. So I should be doing something that's getting more value than discarding. And that would be getting something plain. So get that clarified, and then we get that. Oh yeah, that's actually a good point too. If green 4 wasn't on the board, Tricky would normally play yellow 2. So that's another little small piece that makes it more likely that's the green 4. Alright, then we do a finesse with my cards out of order. Like, the time Squirleon took to play on this turn was almost like, I mean, that's illicit information, so I would try not to use it, but that alone was like, okay, these cards are out of order. Like, people had to think about this a little bit, but I'm like, it'll be clarified anyway. Dragonah will fix this. Yeah, they do. Okay. The yellow 2 has to be playable because, like, we don't care about this yellow 2 here. So, I mean, you gotta trust that Tricky knows this is playable because, like, at the very least, once this 3 clue has been given, they know this is a 3, this has to be the yellow 2. It doesn't play because they play the green 3 instead. I mean, they did a different play instead because that play was more important given the state of the board. That's you gotta. They had a reason for it. So yeah, the 4 clue was exactly what I expected to clarify my 3-4. What's this? Oh, that didn't misplay. No, that's just yeah, you don't have to have the other red 2. Oh, I see why you thought that. Yeah, because, like, well, no. Even if I just see the 1 red 2 Dragonah, I'm still not playing this. I mean, obviously I didn't, but, like, if this was a 3-4 or if it's 4-3, I'm not playing it in either case, because from my perspective, it looks like this is a 3 and it's a finesse and I can't play it yet. So regardless of these being out of order or not, it looks like I can't play them no matter what, so I have to wait for this to get played before I can do anything about it, regardless. Alright, so all of that goes as expected. Then we get a little spicy right here. Which Squirleon should get the yellow 2 played? Oh, you think Dragonah's yellow 2 should play off of the red clue there? Let's see. Did the 3 clue wasn't doable though. So I mean, given the state of things, like we really want to save both of these cards. So that's already extra incentive to clue both, and we can't just clue this card by itself. So the extenuating circumstances of the board state change the situation. And yeah, like Tricky could have clued this is a 4, although that'd be a little... Well, no, it wouldn't be dicey because we all already know this is the green 4. So yeah, they just clue 4 instead if this is a red 3. They even have the other option there. Or they could have clued red over here. Yep. Both of those. So given that, like, Dragonah can see that it's clued that, and those other clues would have made more sense. And they could also see I had the 3 here that blocked cluing the 3 directly. Like, all of that makes sense. If you just give the 4 clue up front, then it looks more like Dragonah has a play, or you have the red 3 as well. I think. Like, if you have red 2, red 3, I think the 4 clue's the way to go. But given we care about my 3... Yeah, the fact my 3 is being touched means nobody else has the red 3, and that's like an important part of this clue. Right? Hey there, Toothpaste. It would be kind of funny if Dragonah played the, yeah, getting Dragonah to play the yellow 2 and then Tricky can discard the yellow 2 would be amusing, to be fair. But it means I'm looking at discarding the red 3 anyway, and that's bad, so, you know. Okay. So then we hit this spice. So I will guess what I was thinking Squirleon was thinking, even though I kind of don't like it, I guess, right? My read is that Squirleon thought a red clue would look more like a finesse because color clues are more commonly associated with finesses. Therefore, they didn't want to give the color clue, but they would like to save the multi-2, and the fact they give you nothing to do means you should play your newest 5. So that is my take on Squirleon's read. Correct me if I have gotten that wrong or whatever. So Dragon decided they couldn't decide which of these 5s to play, so they just discard. I think it's reasonable enough for you to just play the newest there, but I understand the trepidation. The awkwardness, though, is that from my perspective, I think the 2 clue looks like a finesse and the red clue doesn't. Because the red clue feels like it is more clear to me, that like it makes this very clear this card has to be playable from the red clue. So giving the 2 clue is more confusing, therefore I'm expecting additional value from it. The additional value Squirleon is finding there is just that they know that it's exactly a blue 2 or multi 2 rather than it could be multi 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a little more precise. Okay, you thought the color clue would be a finesse too, Tricky. Interesting. Yeah, I never read the color clue as a finesse here, because like that's just the most standard, obvious way to make it clear that the 5 is playable. Like, I think the color clue looks less like a finesse because of the specific circumstances. Like, broadly, color is more linked to finesse, but I also link complexity, and the less confusing, less complex clue is the color clue. Cluing M1 with blue would make a lot of sense. Yeah, that would probably be the way to go. Yep. Chat's scrolling. I'm trying to catch up here. Salutations, not pancakes. Yeah, as chat got you covered there, it's Hanabi. It's a fully cooperative deduction card game, and there's the website we're playing on. It is a in-person card game most normally. You can also get a fancy tile set or whatever, but I've certainly enjoyed playing it both online and in person. If that's an M1, I like the blue clue if that's an M1. I generally agree with that. Yeah, so if Dragonah plays their 5 here on this turn, Tricky will discard and I will play this as the M1. So that's what would have happened if Dragonah had played their 5. I do think it's largely reasonable for them to have played their 5. Because it's the newer one, and we left you with nothing, but, like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing Dragonah thought it was most likely this was playable, but couldn't decide if we were asking you to play this instead, and you're like, well, if there's like a 10 to 20% chance this is the one they wanted me to play, then I shouldn't play either of them, because I'm not sure. Oh man, the yellow clue. Yellow clue is also interesting. Yeah, yellow clue is pretty good, actually. Because then I play my yellow 4, probably, since Squirleon gave the yellow clue. And that's enough for Dragonah to play the red 5. Yeah, so personally, my favorite clues here are, if this is the M1, give the blue clue. If I've got the M1 here, give the 2 clue. Otherwise, give the yellow clue if this is the M2 and I don't have the M1 here. And I've got the yellow 4 here. If this is not the yellow 4, then give the red clue. I think that's my lines if I'm in Squirleon's seat. I think those are my favorite lines. A lot of people think the 2 is just a save. I don't know. Like, that just feels really weird to me because, like, you can save it with a color clue, and the color clue is just less confusing for Dragonah. And because it's, like, more confusing, I want there to be more value than... Like, I basically, the level of extra confusion on giving the 2 clue means I want more value than just narrowing down it from being 4 cards to 2 cards. It's definitely a very interesting spot with a lot of different interpretations for how people want to read it, it would seem. Well, the 2 clue is completely untenable if the yellow and red are swapped. If yellows and reds are swapped, you discard? Interesting. Not yellow? Oh, you discard because you have a 5 to play. I mean, so Dragonah doesn't discard, but Dragonah also has nothing to do. So that isn't great, but... Yeah, that's what I read it as, I bought. Like, a red clue feels like it is primarily saying to play the red 5. That is the primary effect of that clue. Yeah, if I'm in Dragonah's seat, I'm always play the red 5 before the maybe multi-1. If I'm given a red clue. Yeah, that's where I'd put it, Tricky, yeah. That's kind of, when you're tagging multiple cards with a clue, and it does multiple things, it can be hard to determine what is the, I don't know, the primary or the A plan of the clue. But, assuming you can figure out what the A plan of the clue is, then broadly, there's always exceptions, broadly other cards tagged are soft save situations. That would be kind of the default. And that's consistent otherwise. So it sounds like people are going to retain different opinions about how this one should be handled. So it sounds like almost everyone else wants there to be no possible finesse clue here. Well, that's not true. Some people read like even the red as a finesse or something. This is very like, yeah, this is specifically just an interesting board state because of how widely varying the opinions. Well, yellow's the finesse clue on this. But I mean, there's like, if this is the multi-1, there is no finesse clue for other people, where for me, I think the 2 is a finesse clue on that. And yeah, that's pretty reasonable, Kirisu. Not even trying seems pretty reasonable. Especially since, like, we can just get, like, if the M1's here, we can just clue red, get that played, Tricky can clue the M1, it's fine. Well, that's the thing, Dragonah. Like, that's actually why you can play this, is the logic behind that, though. Is because we're forcing you to play, therefore this has to be playable. Even though you don't know it's playable, it has to be because we're telling you it is by forcing you to play it. That's the logic there. So I still agree that, like, it, even with the 2 clue, it is... What I think all 3 of us were expecting is for you to play this 5 off of that. I agree that it's confusing. And like I said, if you do play the 5, then I almost definitely play this, as we discussed, but, you know. I mean, it's rude, but it, like, is perfectly reasonable and makes sense, Kirisu. Like, I've done that many times before. Like, you force someone into a position that they have no out, therefore that means they have an out. because you trust them to not have forced you into a position without an out. And if they just wanted you to discard this, then they wouldn't have clued you. It's not bad, just rude. Okay, yeah, that's fair. So this, I don't know if I've got the yellow 4 or if squirleon has the yellow 4, so I have to wait a turn. Squirleon doesn't play the yellow 4, so I know I've got the yellow 4. I think that, like, the fact no one clarified further, like, this is still the red 5 because we expected you to play something. Like, I still think you can play the red 5 there, but now that the which one was yellow and which one was red was clarified, but then we get all of that. I'm hoping this is the blue 5 at this point. Although I guess if this is the blue 5 dragon, I definitely would have played this last turn, so I should have known already it wasn't the blue 5. Well, it's changed though, Dragonah, that's the thing. Like, you now have the yellow clue. So that's why we expect you to play the red 5 now. Because, you know, this was the red one that we expected you to play last time. Because you knew we expected you to play one of them the turn before. So, now that you know this one's yellow, this one has to be the one we expected you to play. Yep, that's right, Tricky. Yep, exactly. I guess it didn't actually matter, but I should have known before this was drawn that this was not the blue 5. Yeah, so here I figure if I'm giving the clue, it's stronger because I've got this card here that could be, for example, the blue 3. So it's narrowing down what these cards can be somewhat if I'm giving the clue to Tricky. And we need to give both clues. I was thinking blue to Dragonah rather than red, but it's unlikely to make a lot of difference either way. Squirleon does know that's blue, okay. And yeah, so this is interesting. So if this is the M4, do you change which card you play, Tricky? I don't know if that actually changes it, but if you know this can't be the M4 because it's here, does that mean you play this card instead of this card? I was using that as soft evidence that this wasn't the M4 because you played this one, but yeah, so you missed the fact that you could have had another garbage 3 in hand. Yeah. Like, I mean, if it is the M4, I give the same clue, right? I think if this 3's here especially, but like if this 3's not here and that's the M4, I'm still reasonably incentivized to give the same clue. That's tough. But yeah, I was kind of hoping if you figured out one had to be the blue 3, maybe both did because I was the one giving the clue. But, because I don't know this isn't a blue 3 by default. Yeah, that's true. If they don't have... If these aren't either both blue 3s, or maybe if it's multi-4, multi-2, I can still give the clue. But I wouldn't choose blue. Yeah, actually, I think if it's not exactly both blue 3s, I'm cluing Dragonah and having squirleon clue Tricky. Like, that's really subtle. That is such a thin margin. But I think that's the case. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's true. It's very interesting. And I think there's always going to be another color. Yeah, there's always going to be another color option I could use other than blue if they were both multi. So I wouldn't use blue in that case. Yeah. That's very interesting. You mean way earlier when Tricky still had the M4 in their hand, Kirisu, or? Oh, why don't I clue it? Yeah, it's still clued, but it's clued by Squirleon instead of me. Yeah. It's that I don't clue it. Yeah, you never actually, like, had a chance to misplay it. I understood that you might still think this is the M4, but I was pretty confident it would be cleared up by the time it mattered. But yeah, that was a cool game with a lot of unusually interesting stuff in it. Squirleon and Dragonah took exactly the same length. Nailed it. But yeah, I don't think we've at least for a long time had what seems like a relatively simple, like it's mostly using one person's hand, and we have like 3 to 4 completely separate interpretations of what stuff should mean. So that's pretty interesting.